Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronos Plays Persona 4. Today, we're continuing with Labrys Story, a second night of spending time in the outdoor area. It started approximately 30 minutes later than yesterday, but there was very little variance in weather and temperature. The difference is trivial. The night sky has the same soft brightness. The wind and the trees are no different. Without understanding why, I initiate a data search regarding the tree that catches my eye. I learned that this tree varies slightly from species specimens of its kind found in the natural forest. Though this topography seems natural, it may be cultivated and managed by the facility. I decided to traverse the outskirts as I did yesterday. It is not long before a familiar unit comes into view. There is no need to run or scan for visual matches. I know that it is Unit 24. 24's left side is turned toward me. It is sitting on a large rock. When I approach, 24 notices me and turns around.
Are you looking for something?
24 initiates conversation.
Huh? Who, me?
I just wondered if you were looking for me. I did express a hope yesterday that we would meet again after all.
I was looking for 24. Is it true? Oh, it's true. I may have been. I began walking the same route as yesterday, but once 24 came into view, I changed course to approach. I may have been searching for 24 in this area. Did I desire to reunite with 24? Why? I am silent due to lack of an explanation. 24 smiles again. A smile. What was the cause of that expression this time? I do not comprehend. Like so many other things.
Would you like to sit with me? This rock is large enough to accommodate us both.
Is it gonna like scruff my paint job?
It would be more relaxing than standing.
Thanks.
She thanked her. That's kind of, I think, odd at this point. I sit in the offered space and gaze at the same scenery 24 is looking at.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
I decided to voice the doubt I experienced during the combat test today. In my limited experience, 24 has a better comprehension of such matters.
Do other units think about stuff that doesn't have to do with fighting and missions?
Do you have such thoughts?
To tell you the truth, I can't really say. Feels like I do, though.
24 is silent for a duration before speaking again.
Units of our model are all given a mind. It's so that we can eventually develop what is called an ego. The reason our appearance closely resembles that of humans is related. It's to foster self-awareness similar to a human's. Have you not been told about personas?
Oh no, we have not heard them yet. No. The word is unknown to me. Accessing archives. Searching for persona. Over 1,000 headings found. I must filter the results further. Which subject is 24 referring to? I am silent as I think. 24 smiles again and resumes the conversation.
It's an ability expected of us that normal weapons don't have. The conditions to use one are theoretically already loaded in us. But a well-defined ego seems to be necessary to activate it.
I'm already aware that we have been given a mind. Today I saw for myself that part that forms our personality. Is its activation triggered by development of communicative skills? I still don't have a good grasp on it. Though, 24 continues to speak.
That's why I'm sure there are others with thoughts that do not pertain to missions.
That would seem to be the case.
Then, maybe those I fought up till now.
24 trains its gaze on me.
How does that make you feel?
Probably nothing right now, but horrified in the
The
future.
opponents you destroyed may have thought similar things to what you just did.
Do I feel things? I cannot say for sure. I am unable to grasp that I am unable to respond to that question. 24's expression changes again. The expression could be classified as a smile, but it is subtly different from the ones I have cataloged as experienced before. Mixed with the joy and gladness of previous smiles, this one contains a slight hint of sorrow.
It's okay. You don't need to come up with an answer right now. It actually may be better to forget it. After all, tomorrow we may find ourselves ordered to destroy each other.
Oh, guess what's probably happening tomorrow then. Once again, I detect the twinge inside from hearing 24's statement. It's similar to what I sensed during the data transfer today. What is it that wavers inside me? I am about to be lost in the thought again. But as if to prevent that from happening, the signal for our schedule shift echoes in each of our ears.
It's time. I hope we meet again.
Oh, you might. As 24 quietly stands up, I detect an expression I have come to know. Another smile. It appears as if 24 is adopting these smooth changes in expression naturally and not deliberately. I wonder if I will eventually be able to do the same. We about to kill this girl, aren't we? Another night passes. Another combat test takes place in the next day. Just as scheduled, I face units flagged as enemies within the test chamber. I am overwhelmed with a strange sensation. The way that my opponents are expressionless now seems strange to me. There is no intent or cognition evidence in their face. They wear no expressions. Oh. They shut it off. Is that what they're doing before the test? They shut the others ones... That would make more sense than what we saw, then. They are blank. There is nothing wrong with them. That would be my normal assessment, but I recall 24's image. The blankness of these faces and 24's face when it had no expression are different somehow. Even when 24 had no particular expression, it was not this blank. Not even portions of that face was natural. Not every portion of that face was natural. Or neutral. Further analysis shows that the same is true for humans. The researchers are never completely mechanical and expressionless. I look at the hostile flagged units again. They are the same unit type as me. They were given a mind and may potentially develop an ego later. I recall 24's statements again. Do you feel something when you destroy an opponent that may be thinking the same thing as you? I am on the verge of entering a long train of thought when the enemy moves. I shake off my doubts to focus on the battle. I study the opponent's movements. I formulate the most efficient method of damaging it. I execute the method. Over and over. The array of actions I have to select from and my flexibility in linking them will decide the outcome. Having already received 10 units worth of downloaded data, I am likely second to none regarding the scope of possibilities in this respect. At times, I may even anticipate their next movement, since my opponents are the same unit type as me. Their tactics are determined using the same thought process as mine. That's right, they think the same things as me. Dots. Eventually, after approximately 4 minutes pass, all opponents are silenced. I successfully executed my mission. The day after that, I achieved victory in the combat test with the same efficiency. It is easy to eliminate them. I first begin my target by targeting their weapons. It is not always necessary to destroy their main body. If they are incapable of resisting further, the battle is over. It is the most effective way. I win the next day and the day after that. Units geared for close combat with no external weapons give me no choice but to damage the chassis, so they took their weapons away. It just made them fight hand to hand. But even then, there is an order to things. If I destroy parts that present a threat, such as the motor functions of their limbs, the match could be considered as won. Soon afterwards, the buzzer signaling the end of the test echoes, just as I expect. I catch myself rushing over to the unit collapsed on the ground. I have only destroyed the unit's arms and legs. It is still conscious, but I realize I do not know its unit's number, and I'm at a loss of how to address the unit. The opponent asked me a question then that I did not expect.
You seemed to deliberately avoid attacking the face or the neck in that battle. Why?
Huh?
I am momentarily at a loss for words. Okay, so she's gaining enough sentience that she's finding loopholes in her orders to not kill her sisters. What the unit says is true. There is no damage to the face. I review my actions during the battle and find that at no point did I attack its neck either. The cranial region is where the plume of dust is housed. If it is destroyed in any type of unit, that unit will fall. Aiming to disarm an opponent is effective, but would targeting this obvious weakness be a more efficient tactic? I avoided doing so.
I dunno.
The researchers enter the chamber and hide the unit from my field of vision. I cannot determine whether my last words had an effect on the opponent's expression or not. But they're still going to remove the plumes of dusk, which is effectively killing them, yeah?
These days, it hasn't been destroying the other units beyond repair, like it did in the first battle.
It must be learning to finesse its attacks rather than just using brute force. The result? Swift, overwhelming victories.
Its evasive skills are improving as well. That level of flexibility and evasive action could never be replicated by chaining predefined maneuvers.
This unit's collected a good amount of feedback data too. It's growing steadily, feeding on the bones of its kills.
You don't have to say it like that.
The researchers are preparing for the download. Growing. Destroying them and absorbing their data. I'm officially Mega Man. That's what growing is? Since I thoroughly destroyed few of my opponents these last few days, some of their bodies were salvaged. While I downloaded their data, I always kept their still bodies within view. Huh. I'm interested to see what's going to happen when she finds out that even though she kept them alive, they're probably dead because they're taking out their personality modules to give to her, pretty much, to download the data. I have a feeling they're not repairing the outdated models, right? So, I mean, it's kind of a waste of resources, to put it darkly. But they're keeping the plumes of dusk intact, so I guess there is a chance that they lived. Just as the combat tests are repeated, my actions outside each night are repeated as well. I become aware that I am seeking out number 24, of my own will lately. When I attempt to communicate with other units, most of the often they cannot understand the meaning of my questions. This prevents us from conversing. But that may not be the only reason. I want to converse with number 24. I have begun to desire it. When I go to C24, the white dog I saw on the first day we met appears from somewhere.
This one seems to have been raised as a pet somewhere far away from here. But one day, it was brought to the forest near here, and its owner suddenly disappeared.
That's just fucking awful. I hate that. I just hate that. It seems unlikely that 24 obtained such a detailed history of a stray animal from the research staff. Was all this information obtained by communicating directly with the animal? Can we hunt down its past owners and maybe, I don't know, ask them a question? Yeah, we can ask them a question. From a dog that does not speak human language.
Its name is apparently Snowy. At least that's the name it responds to the most.
I thought it was a dog.
Oh, well, the name of this animal is a dog. But how do I put this? Snowy is what this specific dog is called.
Snowy.
Snowy barks once as if comprehending its name.
It's white, like snow. Easy to remember.
When I reach out my hand, Snowy rubs its nose against it without being frightened. The way it presses at my fingers feels as if it's showing pride in its name. I do not know the tactical advantage that communicating with animals offers to a weapon, but I feel that there is value in spending time with it. I decide to spend my outdoor activity time that day following Snowy around with 24. It is an outdoor activity time on the next night. When I arrive in the outdoor area, I am listening to a certain sound. I hear the sound intermittently every 4 to 7 seconds. I had wondered about the unknown ambient sound since the first day, but I determined that it wasn't a threat and focused my consciousness on the other things. Tonight I increased my microphone sensitivity to maximum and concentrate on that sound. It is similar to something familiar. I scan my memories until I realize what it is. It is the sound of water. I hear it when the staff uses a device to clean their hands and tools. The waveform has some similarities to it, but if the sound is at this volume, in such an open space, the volume of water must be higher than a normal supply would allow for. What could it be? I contemplate asking 24. It is clear that 24 knows much more than I do. I begin walking in search of 24. Where could 24 be? Oh no. I go to where we spoke a number of times previously, but 24 is not there. 24 is also not at the rock where we sat together. Is 24 not here? I quickly discard the possibility. We are not ordered what to do while we are here, but coming to this outdoor area is an order. If post-testing diagnostics shows no abnormalities, we are all to report directly here. I consider this. If there are no abnormalities, I feel a twinge in my chest. It is larger than ever. Number 24 will be here if there is no abnormalities. But what if there were such abnormalities? What if 24 was damaged during the combat tests? And sustaining damage is not necessarily the extent of the problem. Could it be? I realize that my arms are trembling slightly. It is not a conscious movement. I cannot make it stop. It is possible. Is it possible that perhaps number 24 lost in a combat test and was destroyed? In these circumstances, it would be expected for such a day to come. What if 24? What if she never came here again?
Oh, this is where you went. You weren't at the usual spot, so I was looking for you.
Until I heard the voice from behind me, my sensors had stopped accepting input. No sound, no light, no nothing. All of them came back online with her voice. I turn around. 24 furrows her brow and looks into my face.
What's wrong? The look on your face seemed as if you saw something frightening.
My face? My expression? Frightening? Am I scared?
I do not comprehend. I cannot make that judgment.
Are you perhaps scared of fighting?
Nah, I don't think that's it. What is this? I can't tell.
Am I scared? Scared of what? That she will disappear? During an operation, it is possible that I might assign greater priority to another unit's safety than my own, but we are not on an operation now. And this emotion is not the same anyway. It's a different emotion. An emotion. I have emotions. I look at 24's face pleadingly, but I cannot put my question into words. I can't express my feelings to her. And though 27 sees this, she says nothing. 24, not 27. She only smiles tenderly. It's the same smile she showed once that looked happy, but also sad. During the night's outdoor activity time, neither 24 nor I speak much. We just walk together, side by side, without many words. I do not take the opportunity to ask her about the intermediate sound of water. It has to be. It is the next day. It has to be Labrys that kills 24. I detect some sort of weight in my chest. I am aware that there is no physical weight there. It is most likely a psychological phenomenon. I perform a vocabulary search. The idiom of being heavy-hearted applies best. I cannot help but find it amusing. It is a very apt phrase. But what is causing this heavy-heartedness? That I may not be able to see 24 someday? That may be it. But I don't think that is it. That is all. Over the next few days, I spent my time without finding an answer to this question. Each night after the combat test, when it is time for outdoor activities, I seek out 24 first. And each time I confirm her presence, I feel an indescribable sense of relief and rush over to her. We exchanged standard greetings in the first few days, but that practice was eventually discarded. Now there are no special greetings between us. We can understand each other without words. Our eyes and expressions communicate enough. Tonight, as well, I find 24 and rush to her as usual. There are no words, only an exchange of smiles. We begin walking together.
Do you remember me asking before if you were scared of fighting?
I nod.
To tell the truth, I'm scared of it too.
Her confession is surprising. It is counter to our nature as weapons. Yet, for some reason, I am not surprised by it.
I'm afraid I'll lose and be destroyed. And it's painful for me to make others go through the same ordeal. We may be weapons, but shouldn't we be driven by more than seeking victory? I've been wondering that for a long time.
But that's against orders.
24 gives a half-hearted smile.
I'm sure things would probably be much simpler if I stopped thinking and just obeyed orders. Unfortunately, I finally found it. I found my answer.
Your answer?
There's someone I want to meet. I feel like meeting this person is my own objective and not an order given to me.
Who do you want to meet? Since we have never left this facility, we have absolutely no acquaintances with outside people. Oh, is she gonna hunt down the bastard that left the dog? Please, please, I'll help you. There should be no relationship with such people. But I immediately understand. This person she wants to meet is someone on the outside. Even I don't know why I thought so. But when I reflect upon that thought, the indescribable wavering within me becomes greater than ever.
Ever since I started thinking that I was scared to fight, each day was painful for me. If I'm going to feel this way until the day I lose, I even thought it would be better if I lost on purpose.
I don't know.
But I won't think that anymore. I feel glad now that I exist. I mean, we're loved after all.
You're loved by who? Each other? Like, I can see you and Labrys kind of having a thing, but at the same time, who loves you?
Loved?
That's right.
I repeat that to myself. The words love, I do not comprehend. But when I look at her gaze, her clear eyes seem to see beyond the sky. Her statement seems correct. I feel that this must be something vital. As I watch her try to express something without words, it is hard to believe she is the same unit type as me. It seems more that she is human.
Why are you telling me this?
It's probably because I didn't think anyone but you would understand.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure I really get it either.
I'm sure you'll understand one day. I hope so anyway.
Sheesh. Why you gotta be so cryptic?
24 laughs at this. It is the purest smile I have cataloged. I know without comparing it to anything that it is a smile of pure joy. I detect Snowy playing at my feet. After playing with 24's feet too, Snowy runs off ahead about 3 meters and then turns around. Its tails move vigorously back and forth. Soon afterwards, Snowy sits on the ground and looks up at 24. I watch 24's crouch and pat its head. I'm thinking back about other things. Things beside what happens to this poor dog, please. I already know we're gonna, 24's dead. I already know that, and that's gonna be heartbreaking enough. But this snowy creature, I want to get a home and live somewhere nice, in a nice warm house with people that love it. Things besides fighting and defeating the nearest enemy. My own objective. Someone to meet. I still do not fully comprehend. But the way she is playing with Snowy tonight looks more fun than ever. Her smile seems very natural. If the answer she discovered is the origin of that smile, I would like to understand it someday too. I can feel that desire budding inside me. So, I'm starting to feel like we might not actually have any combat for Labrys. And it might actually just be story time, which is fine by me. It is kind of good to get a change of perspective like that too. Since I guess who would she be fighting, right? Aside from maybe I don't know, palette swaps for herself maybe? And then I guess her shadow at the end, maybe. Once again I participate in a combat test. Once again I claim victory without destroying my opponent. I target only her weapon and limbs. I elect not to employ the tactic of targeting the weakness in their cranial region. I believe that if they think the same as I do, they would not wish for their personality modules to cease functioning. Though even if I do not destroy them, the research staff will remove their plumes of dust. Either way, their functions will be suspended. My actions are difficult to justify. But I feel that suspension through destruction is not a worthy end for them. That is what I think when I rationalize it by applying criteria to myself. I do not think anyone would want their consciousness to be terminated by those like them. I find myself more conscious of the damage I sustain and my efficiency in combat than ever. Depending on my results, I may eventually be ordered to destroy them. To prevent that from happening, I must continue fielding favorable results. It becomes easy to continue fighting with that objective in mind. That is becoming my new objective. I am theoretically being tested on destroying my opponents, but I have begun fighting so that they will not be destroyed. Paradoxically, that's probably how you pronounce that, this has caused my results to improve. Could this be considered going against orders? My strike shatters the servos on the opponent's pivot leg. She falls to the ground, unable to stay upright. Her weapons have already been destroyed. She should be incapable of resisting now, but the buzzer signaling the end of the test does not sound. As I wonder why, I hear a grating metallic sound from the opponent. She leaps onto me with her one good arm and leg.
What's the matter, number 031? Hurry up and terminate the target.
I do not know what to do. My opponent is acting contrary to her own safety. I grant that this is the only action left to her, but she will destroy herself before inflicting any damage to me. A tactic that puts one's life at risk like that, putting one's life at risk. What am I saying? We are weapons. We exist to obey orders. We cannot prioritize our self-preservation without a change in those orders. That is why she is challenging me to fight. She will do so until all of her circuits and servos burn out and she becomes incapable of action. As she grapples with me, I put my hand to her neck and squeeze. I adjust my grip strength, limiters to 70% of maximum. The opponent's body makes an abnormal sound. After this, I sense the main line of the bridge unit snap in half inside the soft structure. Her movements stop. Her limbs go flaccid, indicating loss of consciousness. I can see my reflection in her optic inputs. They have lost their focus and look like black holes. I gasp. The face I see reflected in them is not expressionless. How should this expression be classified? I have seen it sometimes when 24 smiles. This face indicates sadness. The buzzer signaling the tests and finally rings. The researchers enter the chamber. I am used to this scene now.
Now that was pretty impressive. You think it's because of the size of her plume? Funny that one little part could make such a difference.
Indeed. Most of it is due to differences in their tactical mentalities. It may be on the cusp of what we would call an ego.
Considering how everything's been going so far, I'm starting to believe more in persona abilities.
One little part. It is true that the plume of dust installed in me is comparatively the largest among units of my type, but does this part determine everything about us? 24's smile seems much more human than mine. I find myself opening my mouth to speak, but I realize that the statement I am about to deliver is a protest. I am quick to abort. Was I about to deny the staff's authority? They speak to me. My confusion seems to have gone unnoticed.
Well done, unit number 031. That was an impressive display of destruction.
Thanks.
Plus, you cleanly severed its transmitter, leaving the plume of dusk unharmed. That's certainly ending things on a high note.
Ending things on a high note. An act of destruction is a high note? The researchers look at each other while holding the petri dish with the bluish-white plate-like object. One of them says, "This is the one."
All right, number 031. As of today, the test battles are finished.
Oh.
Huh? It's over?
I cannot help questioning the unexpected statement.
All the results indicate that you have the very highest performance out of all the units of your model.
I'd say we can go ahead and earmark unit number 031 to be the base for developing the 5th generation.
The base?
It means that you're the winner.
The combat tests are over. Will I no longer be required to fight? A strangely intense sensation of release fills me. It is not because I won and gained a reward. If the tests have ended, those of my unit type that are not yet destroyed can escape that fate. I don't know about that. Interesting, it seems that I was reluctant to destroy them after all. My priorities have become inverted, yet I am so happy that I smile. The researchers notice this expression as well and smile back.
Okay, we're going to begin the usual review of the feedback. So come over here.
So are we not gonna fight 24 then? Are they just gonna like decommission them all? Like, Oh no. When the download begins, the memories and thoughts of my recent opponents flow into me along with the vivid images. Sifting through battle data has become a routine I have repeated so often that I am barely conscious of it now. I peruse the non-combat memories she preserved. It is the landscape of the outdoor area again. At first, I could only vaguely recognize it, but now I can pinpoint exactly where this memory is from. It is near the biggest tree. The memory of its flowers. There are images of a small shoot, a budding plant, and a blossoming flower. She must have had an interest in the concept of growth. For we machines, the growth of an individual is an unknown concept. But one of us took an interest where I had only seen it as part of the landscape. It seems that she too had her own thoughts unrelated to our orders and battle performance. She simply did not show it. I recall what 24 said, my own objective and not an order given to me. The twinge in my chest returns. I'll make sure to hold tight to your memories. This was the thought that formed in my mind. Once again, it is time to spend time outdoors. I quickly meet up with 24. It seems she was looking for me as well.
Hey, can I talk to you for a while? The lab boys told me today that they were putting the kibosh on the test battles.
Kibosh.
I see. It's over then.
Look, I've been thinking, if they end up tossing us out soon because of that, I want to go with you to go see that person.
I don't think they would just tot you out. Like, yeah.
The one you wanted to meet.
Yeah, they would not just toss you guys out on the street, trust me.
I might even put in a formal request about it to the lab boys.
24 takes my right hand. Before I can determine her intent, she pulls a cable from her wrist and connects it to the port of my own. She looks at my face in silence. Thinking that she wants to confirm that the tests are in fact over, I nod. But the data that transfers is from her to me. The packets that flow through the cable form a single, very small archive file.
If you are still safe when everything is over, open this file.
24 removes the cable, but keeps hold of my hand.
What do you mean, when everything is over? How come I can't look at it now?
If I had to answer, I would say because it wouldn't be fair.
Fair?
She smiles and does not answer. It is that same unsure expression. It is a smile, but there is sadness in it.
It would be wonderful if I could go with you to see her.
Her? So this person you're looking forward to meeting is a girl?
24 nods
But
slowly.
it's strange. Even though my wish may not come true, I still feel satisfied for some reason. How bizarre. It's a fervent wish of mine, too.
She looks towards the sky and smiles faintly. This time, it contains more than sadness. There are too many emotions for me to parse, all reflected in that one
I
expression.
believe in you. I can tell you this because I trust you. Maybe that's why I feel so at peace.
Huh?
Maybe this is what it is to feel alive.
Alive! It has happened again. I do not comprehend the meaning of the word, yet I feel a twinge inside. I look at the sky in an attempt to follow her gaze. There is nothing there to hint at her meaning, but I still wanted to get closer to her. She wishes for me to understand. I want to grant her wish. From then on, we spend our time looking up at the sky in silence. Eventually, Chronos gets a kink in his neck because he can't really look up that long. Eventually, the signal that the time is up reaches our ears. That is when I notice the moon has appeared from behind the laboratory building. I see. I thought that the light emanating from the plume of dust reminded me of something. I now know what it is. It is very similar to the light from the moon in the night sky. Alright, well, we're at another bookmark spot, so I guess I'll call it here for now. So yeah, hers is definitely just pure visual novel then, compared to the other ones. It is interesting to see, and I'm kind of dreading reaching the end of it, to be honest, because I at least not the end, but I can, like, from the first part of her story, when we met 24, I was like, oh no, we're gonna become friends with this robot girl, and she is gonna die at our hands or something. So yeah, that's probably coming too, right? She gave us some sort of packet, which is probably against orders, by the way, but still, she gave us some sort of packet, so, oh man. I guess that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, press like below. If you're not subscribed yet, why don't you have my video section, check out some of the content, see if it's to your liking. If you're interested in watching me live stream at twitch.tv/ChronosPlays, get my channel followed to be notified when I go live. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great day.